Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webcast. My name is Mike Fitch with the Ohio LTAP Center here at ODOT, and we appreciate your participation. As we get started, please take a moment to locate the questions box in the GoToWebinar panel. At any time during the webcast, please feel free to use the questions box to send in any questions you might have. With that, we will go ahead and turn things over to Chris Runyon. Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good, thanks.
Good. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be here and give this presentation with you today. We're excited about what we believe the Ohio Local Government Bidding Clearinghouse can do both for local governments and for the contracting community. And from here on out, I'm just going to be calling it the clearinghouse because everything else is a mouthful. A little bit about myself. I have been in this position here at the Ohio Contractors for over 16 and a half years now. So it's been a long gig for me, but I grew up in West Central Ohio and Covington, Ohio. Went to University of Dayton with my bachelor's and master's. And during those years, I worked with the Miami County Engineer's Office. After getting out of college, and I worked with a consultant for a couple of years, and then I joined up with the Federal Highway Administration. And they bounced me and my wife around the country, including DC and other places. It gave me a good background. And when it came time to move to Washington, DC for a promotion, I said, I think I'm going to check back home first. So I came back, found a position with ODOT. I was with ODOT for 9 years and eventually became the chief engineer and assistant director with ODOT during the Voinovich years, which really dates me. After that, I went to work with a contractor for a while and then a consultant for a while before landing back here at the Ohio Contractors Association. So this job's been a really good fit for me and my background. I wanted to talk with you a little bit about a new service that we introduced formally back in September. As I was thinking about this and looking back a little bit in my records, I wrote down my first thoughts about this clearinghouse back in December of 2021. And really, it was born out of my observations that both the contractors and local governments might be able to benefit from such a service. From the contractor's perspective, which is who I'm supposed to be representing, it was really an opportunity to optimize their business opportunities. As most of you know, you can learn about jobs at the local government level just through a couple of sources. One of them is through the newspaper. You're required to post in the newspaper, I think 2 weeks before a bid opening date. And the issue with that is that it's a local newspaper, and if you're a contractor a couple counties away or even a half a state away, and you don't have a subscription to the local newspaper, then you don't hear about the opportunity. And also, I know that many of you keep your own list of contractors that you've been successfully working with in the past. And, if you're a contractor that wants to look a little bit farther and wider, and you're not on that particular list, you may not hear about the opportunities either. And for contractors, we've had to start looking farther and wider for work, just because that's, the nature of our business as it goes right now. I've got small contractors living up in north central Ohio that are doing work down in Athens, and you have examples of that all over the state. So it really opens up opportunities for contractors to locate work. At the same time, I talk with enough representatives from local government and heard testimony before the legislature that you folks are just looking for more bidders. You want bidders because you want better competition and better prices, and we get that. So we wanted to create something that benefited you and what your goals might be as well. So with that, I came up with the idea of this clearinghouse. I knew that ODOT had done a real good job of getting the word out about their Bid Express and electronic bidding. And through electronic bidding, you know, jobs are posted and there's a wider availability. But I knew also that not all of the local governments, and probably not even half of the local governments, are tied into electronic bidding services. So we decided to create a web-based opportunity that would be no cost to the local governments to use, and would be no cost to the local to any contractor to use. So we developed this, you know, through our own resources, and it's a way, again, that both parties can take advantage of identifying work on our part and advertising work that you folks made available. We've tried to keep it very close to what you would expect to include in a newspaper advertisement that you put in. We really wanted to try to mimic that. We are not trying to create something, again, that's electronic bidding. We want this strictly to be an informational type of service where you can put in basic information that's already at your fingertips that you need for your newspaper advertisement that you're required by ORC to do, and basically transfer that into a simple one type of form that gets it out there for everybody. We're hoping that it will take off at some point in time. Could it replace newspapers? It may at some point, but at this point in my life, I'm really not anxious to fight against newspapers. And I've always told they battle by the barrel of ink. So that's one challenge that I really don't want to get into. But we'll see how this begins to take off. It is available to all local governments at all different levels. We're actually in conversations right now that potentially ODOT will be posting their projects on the clearinghouse as well. So it will be truly a one-stop shop for all local government entities. We also are going to open this up not only for just OCA members, but for all contractors. We figured, especially as we started to think about making this available to everyone, it would actually be an attraction for contractors to look into the Ohio Contractors Association for membership. But also, we just didn't feel like we could make this exclusively for OCA members, because there's a lot more contractors out there than there are OCA members. So as we created this, we wanted to identify a format that was a very simple and intuitive process that really, like I said, stayed consistent with format for everyone. It contained basic information like project number and location, bid opening dates, estimates, because unlike ODOT, I know local governments post their anticipated estimates. Also, there's locations on there where you can post plans and specifications in a PDF format and let everyone know. Since we opened this up in September, we've reached out through the County Engineers Association, the Township Association, Municipal League, and also Ohio Public Works Commission. We've also reached out to the county or the consulting community, because we know that consultants do quite a bit of work on behalf of local governments, including bidding projects on local government's behalf. So we've reached out to all those entities. We have got 26 registrants so far on the website, and we've had 3 projects to date. And we're hoping that opportunities like this will get everyone even more interested. I know this is kind of a off time of year. You know, as we go into the late fall, jobs are wrapping up, and a lot of local governments and even ODOT are looking more toward February, March, and that kind of stuff to post jobs. But this gives an opportunity for you to kind of kick the tires and for us to work out any bugs that might be identified along the way. Even in the short time that we've been doing this, you know, we've got a number of questions that we can kind of head off at the pass here. One of the questions that we see is, you know, can local governments have more than one contact within the office? And we would actually encourage that. So as you're filling out the form that we'll look at here in a couple of minutes, you'll be asked to list a contact person, a URL for your website, and also a phone number for that contact person. We are not in any way at all planning on touching your bidding process. It's set up so projects automatically drop off of the system on the letting date. So that's when it's no longer available to the community to consider for bidding. So the bidding date automatically will drop off. And if a project changes, if you for some reason remove it from the bidding process, you have the ability to go into any project that you input, hit a little X button, and it will disappear. So you have those options, and it's really up to you to monitor that as time goes on. We originally identified it or created it to deal with just highway projects. We did expand it because we use ODOT's work codes to identify work types. We did expand that for water and wastewater work. If you look on the list that I'll show you here in a couple minutes, you will see, I think there's a fire station on there. Well, we're not going to be project police to the point that we're kicking off projects. You may not find really good work codes to line up with vertical work, but you know, if you want to use the tool for that, we're open to that, and we're happy to do that. So you know, we're trying to broaden the base, you know, that for users. And like I mentioned earlier, consultants that do work on your behalf do have the opportunity to come on board and use it on your behalf. So with that, I want to go in a little bit as you look at the website here. We have created a little narrative that's a little further down the screen for additional instructions, but usually a video is worth 1,000 words. So we have, we've created one that's right above the I'm new and want to post a project. If you click on that, you'll get to hear my voice for another 3 or 4 minutes, and then it will go through a step-by-step demonstrating how you can fill out that form to register. Everyone must register first, and we want to do that because we don't want to have individuals who want to damage the credibility of the database that we have. So what you will do is you'll just click on I'm opening a new account, and you'll have the option here to see the you know, the video. But then you will create an account just by filling out this minimal information. And when we receive a new request for this, down at the bottom here, you'll have your own unique password and to confirm it, and a username, which is generally an email address. And once you put in this basic information, we'll go through a couple of checks to make sure this is a legit registrant. We're hoping to do that in approximately 2 to 3 business days. There are a few drop-down options that are available to you, the option to list your organization. If you share a password amongst your own staff, you know, that may forego the need to have multiple users and multiple contacts. but you can still have more than one user as you create the account. Once you have created an account and you're qualified as a user, then you can come back here at any time, indicate the fact that you have an account, and that you want to post a project, and you will come up with this screen. At this point in time, you wouldn't have any projects listed, but you would just go over to the plus sign, click on the ad, and then this form will come up. You can put your own unique project number to help you identify it. If you have a name for the project, bridge replacement over, Y Creek or Y River, or resurfacing between this point and that point, you can utilize that box. If you do use BidExpress, similar to what ODOT does, and you want to tie it back to a BidExpress account, you have the ability to include that as well. We hope if you put it on BidExpress, you won't stop there, because also not every contractor is tied into BidExpress. So hopefully you'll take advantage of putting in a BidExpress, both for those that do utilize BidExpress, but still leave it open and available for those who don't. You will put in your own agency name, whatever that may be, unique, and then you'll get an opportunity to select which county that you're in. This is used, to help a sorting feature that you'll see here in a couple of minutes. Like I explained, we use ODOT's work types, and there's quite a lengthy list. You can identify as many or as few as you want. We've got a few down here at the bottom for water and wastewater, that weren't traditional ODOT work types that we have added to make it work for you and your utility work. There's a date that it was first advertised. There's also a bid due date and time, and also a bid opening date. We have both. In many cases, these two dates will be the same, but we wanted to leave open the possibility that for some reason there's a difference between the two. For those of you that need to publish your estimate, which is most of you, there's an opportunity to put the project estimate here, and then followed by your contact person that you want to identify within your own office for questions, their title, their phone number, and their email. Because like I said, if the goal of this is to merely let contractors know that the project is there and help them to identify interest in it. It won't provide a lot of details, for instance, pre-bid questions and those kind of things. However, if you do have a PDF, it is limited, to 110 megabits, but man, that's a pretty doggone big PDF. So maybe if you have a simple resurfacing project that's on 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper, or maybe even a smaller plan set, you may be able to attach that by PDF. And you have the option to select that, through a browser or on your laptop or your system. And then also a URL. If you provide more information on a specific URL site within your organization that can get contractors closer to additional information you want to share. All you do then is click on Save and Close, and you now have your project posted. And like I said, from that point, it will remain on the site until the bid opening date and time, and that will be the key to remove it. So, like I said, I hope you find that part of the process pretty straightforward and easy to take advantage of. What the contractors see is they want to view available projects. This is active right now. So you can see one, we already have our first building on there. And like I said, not specifically designed for that, but happy to have it there. And then 2 other signs that we have on the site right now. So the contractors, they can decide on a bandwidth that they want to look for a project cost to bid on. As you know, as you look across the wide range of contractors out there, there are people interested in all different sizes. So this gives them an opportunity to look as far as price and where they want to bid based on your engineer's estimate. They can look at a county where they may want to work, and then they can also look at some of the various work types that are available. If I just go and pick one of these, I'm going to do the bikes because it actually looks like a somewhat related to a highway project. This is what a contractor will see without any additional filters. If he applies filters, he'll only see a listing of projects on the list that fits those filters. But you can see the various different numbers, the information that's provided on there. And if there is a URL, that's given. And if they want to see a PDF, they can click on that and see that additional information. So they have some options to look at their projects or look at your projects and see potentially what they may be interested in bidding on. So that really goes through all of the features of the website, why we created it. We hope as a goal to have it tied in as the go-to place for both local governments and contractors in the future. As it begins to take off, we get into the beginning of saw this as a service going forward, and it could be very competitive with other things that you might be that might be available to you, even beyond electronic bidding services. You know, there's Dodge services and other project listing services out there, but we wanted it to be used for both parties' benefit, and we're able to do it and maintain it within our existing network structure that we have here at OCA. So it doesn't cost a penny for anybody to use it.
Thanks, Chris, and thanks, RC, for your question. Next question is from Coral. Coral says, is there an archive of previous projects that an account has posted that we could view later for reference?
At this point in time, I do not believe that there is an archive available. The projects drop off, and you know, as we did consider archives, but as time goes on and that becomes bigger and bigger, it became more problematic for us to maintain. So we do not have an archival feature at this point in time. If it becomes a strong desire, maybe we can look into adding something like that.
Thanks, Chris. We have a question from Suki who says, when I try to see the project details on the website, all three pull up the same project details.
That's because it, if I understand your question, you're looking at available projects. And I'll take a look at that. Pump station. Oh, you're right. So we'll
LTAP webpage, look for our YouTube channel, and give us about a day or two, and the recording of this webcast will be posted.
And also, I would encourage you to go to the videos that are on the website itself, and those will also give you some guidance on walking through the process.
Thanks, Chris. For our audience, the questions box is open. If there are any remaining questions as we get close to the 12:30 time frame here. Okay, looks like we're good for now. And Chris, is it okay if people email any additional questions to you afterward?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm happy to go through questions. And I also, have a contact person here in our office. That individual's name is Dave Rule, R-U-L-E. He can be reached at the same phone number. We have a common phone number for for everyone here in the building through our receptionist. So you can reach out and ask to speak with Dave Rule as well.
All right, very good. Well, folks, with no additional questions at this time, we will go ahead and adjourn today's webcast. So we want to thank Chris for presenting today. We really appreciate it. And thanks everybody for your participation.